With your hands on your abdomen, you can feel the skin of the abdomen expanding and retracting with each breath. And just noticing how you feel when you breathe in this way and bring your focus to that kind of breathing. And then we're going to lift the hips and take out the blanket and hug your knees into your chest. And see if you can still breathe, really feeling the expansion and retraction of the belly. Good. And then we're going to hold the front of the knees and press the lower back into the floor. And try to keep that deep abdominal breath evident. Good. Take your legs straight up and your arms straight up. So your back is still pressing into the floor. We're going to retract the belly towards the spine and really lift up through the fingertips and toe tips. Feel that satisfying breath. Good. And we're going to swing the legs one way and the arms the other way. See if you can keep your back resting into the floor, the front core of the body supporting the back core. Keep the head nice and relaxed, neck relaxed. Staying focused on that deep abdominal breath. Good, and then back to center. Hug your knees in and rocking a little bit inside. Take your knees out wide and towards the floor outside your shoulders. Good, and then happy baby pose. Hold your feet or your ankles. Good, we're going to rock a little bit from side to side. Breathing deeply, aware of the breath into the belly, shoulders relaxed. Start to try and straighten your legs a little bit. Good, and then releasing. And we're going to roll over and come into an all fours position. Take child's pose and wiggle your knees out a little bit wider. Arms back beside you if that's comfortable, or out in front. And because the knees are wider, your chest might be closer to the floor. You can always turn your face to one side if that feels better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Turn your face to one side, turn to the other side. And finding that deep breath again. Aware of the movement of the belly. Good. And then center your neck and forehead and reach your arms straight out in front. Forward Virasana. And we're going to walk the right arm and right ribs forward, and then the left arm and left rib. Keep lengthening the torso this way. Still following your satisfying breath. Mm. Good. Lean your torso over to the left and take your right foot out a little. And then see if you can bring your hips back towards level. So that'll be quite a strong movement in the hip. You might not get very far, but just noticing that awkwardness. Good, and very gently bring the toes back together. Great. Take your, lean over to the right side a little bit. Take your left foot out a little and see if you can bring your hips back to level or in that direction. Good, and then releasing. And we're going to lift up, come into an all fours position. Great. Start with the knees together and back just a little bit from the line of the hips with your shoulders as far forward over the wrists as your wrists are comfortable with. Stretch the fingers wide, press the fingerprints. Lift up your right leg. Good. We're going to keep the leg bent. And we're going to take the right leg across to the left and lift the right hip. So the right side of the belly starts to stretch. You can really wriggle around into that movement. Okay. But then we're going to take the right leg and take it up towards the ceiling, the sole of the foot. Bring the hips back to level as you do that. We're going to take it out to the side and then bring the knee forward as though you could touch your right wrist and then back to the starting position. We're going to do the same on the left. So pick up the left leg, leg is bent. And then we take the left leg across to the right side and keep reaching so that you can lengthen the left side of the body. Enjoying that breath. Good, and then we're going to take the left foot up towards the ceiling, bring the hips back to level. Take the leg out as far as you can to the left side and the knee forward as though you could touch the outside of your left wrist. Good, and then back to center. Good, and so we're going to make those circles with both knees. We'll do side alternate to the other side, one side, then the other side. Okay, so we're going to lift up the right leg. We're going to reach the foot at first across to the left side. So you get that lovely stretch in the right side of the body. And then we bring the hips back to level, but lift the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. And then bring the right knee out as far as you can to the right, as though you could touch the outside of the right wrist, and then back to center. And then we do the same on the left. So we lift the left foot up, lift the left hip up, stretch the left side of the body. Nice. Bring the hips back to level as you lift the foot higher. Take the left knee out to the left side as far as you can and touching the outside edge of the left wrist. One more at both sides. Right leg lifts, right hip lifts. Open the right side of the body. Find that you're connected to that breath. Good. Drop the hip back to level. Lift the foot higher and take the right knee out to the right side as though you could bring it forward and reach the outside of the right wrist. Good. Last side. Left leg lifts, left hip lifts. Looking to the left side, opening the left rib. Beautiful. Bring the hips back to center. Lift the foot as high as you can, and then take the left knee out as far as you can, and to the outside of the left wrist, and back to center. Nice work. Come into child's pose again. And take the knees wide. You take your hands where they make sense. And finding that deep connection to the breath. If you have to turn your head to fit, then turn it to the other direction. Good, and then inhale. And coming up to all fours. We're going to tuck the toes under and lift the knees away from the floor. Adho Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog pose. Stretch your fingers out wide and press your fingerprints. Lift your heels high, lift your sit bones high, and let your head just hang down. Find that deep and satisfying breath. Good, and then try pressing your heels down to the floor. So as you travel the heels towards the floor, notice that intense feeling in the back of the leg. And keep lifting the sit bones to even encourage that intensity. Neck relaxed, chest is broad. Good, we're going to start to sway the hips from side to side. Notice as you do that, you open the opposite side of the torso. Good work. And then child's pose. Take a narrow child's pose here. So maybe even with the legs together, if that's uncomfortable in your belly, just a little bit wide. Just let the back lengthen and broaden, the shoulders relax. Finding that deep breath in the belly. Good, and then arms all the way forward. Come up into your Adho Mukha Svanasana again, downward facing dog pose. This time, walk your feet together. We're going to try and press the heels, but it might be you feel better with the knees a little bit bent, so see what works. Lift the sit bones, though. Try to increase that intensity in the back of the legs rather than shy away from it. So lift the sit bone. Let the chest feel broad. Good. Press the heels as much as you can to the floor. Right leg lift. Good. Bend the knee. Take the right hip up to the ceiling. You're looking under your right arm and breathing. Keep the weight into your fingerprints, base of the index fingers. Good. Release that side. Press both heels. Left leg lifts. Straight at first. And then bend the leg and lift the hip. Left hip lifts. Good. Looking under the left armpit. Opening the left side of the body. Good. And then release that side. Nice work. We're going to walk forward to the front of the mat. You can take your little step, awkward as they are, and all the way up. And arms up. I'm not used to this side being the front of the mat. That's where the light is. So I should face that way. Okay, now we're going to step forward and back a little bit. But first, so you might want your chair, the seat of the chair facing you. But first, we're just going to relax our hands a little bit. Interlock your fingers, heels of the hands together, and just make figure 8 movement with your wrist. And when you think about it, there's so many lovely movements the hands are capable of. And you ever find that your hands are getting stiff or you're having trouble with some kind of dexterity that's required? These gentle little movements, even back of the hands together in a sort of prayer position, and you can then revolve that all the way around. Good. Stretching, all kinds of movements, even just squeezing fists. All right, so because we're going to use our hands again onto the chair or onto the floor. Tadasana. Inhale, arms up and looking up. Good, and as you exhale, Uttanasana. Good. Your forward bend, and take notice of how your back feels and the shape that the forward bend has made. And if it's quite a stretch for you to reach the floor, yet you are reaching the floor. See if you can embed the bones of the spine a little further forward into your front torso. Good. We're going to take a big step back with the right foot. Good. And lift your breastbone. So might have fingertips on the floor or your hands are on your chair. Lift your breastbone. Good. And we're going to lower the back knee towards the floor. Good. And really feel the power in your legs and the core of your body, that internal muscular support of the pelvic floor, breastbone lifting. Good. And then straighten your back leg and press the heel down to the floor. Lift the breastbone again. Nice work. We're going to press into the legs powerfully. Lift the torso, arms up by the ears. And looking up. Draw the shoulder blades down. Feel the breath deeply into the body. Good. Lower the hips a little bit more. Feel really strong in that front leg and lower the back knee towards the floor. Good. We're going to hold that leg position, reach the torso forward, hands back down onto the floor. Good. And stepping forward. Uttanasana. Bend the knees and inhale. And rolling up, Urdhva Hastasana. And Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Look up. Uttanasana. You're standing forward bend. Paying attention to the feeling of your spine. Trying to make a valley shape rather than a rainbow shape. Good. Left leg steps back. Big step. Lift the breastbone, embed the bones of the spine forward. Drop your back knee towards the floor, but not quite onto the floor. And take the weight powerfully in your legs. Feel the core of the body contract to support. Good. Lift the breastbone. Nice work. And then straighten that back leg. Really press the back heel. Lift the breastbone again. Really strong in the legs, and we're going to lift the torso. Lift the arms up by the ears. That's sort of a long Virabhadrasana 1. Draw the shoulder blades down. We're looking up. Finding where the body resists. finding where the body feels strong. Breathing. Drop the back knee towards the floor, but not onto the floor. And reach the torso forward, arms back down, and step forward. Uttanasana. Lift the breastbone. Embed the bones of the spine forward. Good, bend the knees and inhale. And rolling up and looking up. Good. Inhale, arms up. As you exhale, Uttanasana. Pay attention to the shape of your spine. Big step back with the right foot. Good. We're going to have straight legs this time, but the way to start working your legs towards straight is maybe to straighten and then bend the front leg, because we don't want to lose that lovely shape of the spine. So feeling the bones to be embedding forward. The straightening and then letting off that stretch a little bit. Maybe you can go straight into straight, but paying attention. All right, hold the leg, the front leg as straight as you can. Lift up onto the fingertips or up onto the seat of the chair and looking forward. Good. We're going to powerfully lift the front core of the body, bring the pelvic floor strongly higher into the body cavity. Good. And we're going to take the arms straight out by the ears and lift up. Front leg as straight as you can. Back heel presses down. Good. We're going to see if we can take the torso and the arms out to the front. We're going to keep the front leg straight, but bend it if you need to. Just feel the power in your legs. Really trusting that good balance. Good. Straight as you can in your front leg. And then we're going to step forward. Uttanasana. Bend your knees and inhale. And rolling up. Looking up. Good. And then Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. As you exhale, Uttanasana. Feel the shape of your spine. Try to make the valley shape rather than the rainbow shape. Good. Step your left foot back. We're going to play around with getting the front leg straighter. So straightening and relaxing, straightening and relaxing. Paying attention to the posture of your spine. Paying attention to the breath. To the foundation of your feet. Good. We're going to have the front leg as straight as you can. Press into your feet without gripping your toes. And bring the arms straight out in front. Good. And lift the torso. So holding your balance powerfully through the awareness in your legs. Straight legs this time. Looking up. Good. And then reaching your torso and your arms back out in front. Ooh. Straighten your front leg. Good. And then stepping forward into Uttanasana. Good. Feel the breastbone lifting. The bones of the middle back embedding forward. Good. And then bend your knees. Inhale. Rolling up. Arms up. Look up. Good. Okay, now you might want the back of the chair turned around to face you. for balance or anything else you can hold on to here. We're going to stand with the feet under the hips in Tadasana. Lift up your right leg. Woohoo. Good. Now you only lift your knee as high as is comfortable for your sacroiliac joint. Good. So we need to use the core awareness, so front core supporting the back core to lift the leg. Good. And then we're going to keep everything stationary except for the ankle and the foot, the right foot. So we're making those rotations of the foot around the ankle. Standing tall with the head balanced easily. Other direction. Good. And then release that side. Feet back underneath the hip, parallel. Good. Lift up your left leg. Check in with the core awareness. The front core squeezing to support the back core. Easy balance in your posture and your neck. Good. And then ankle rotation. Try and get the whole movement that might be available. My foot's skipping a bit. And then other direction. Good. And then releasing that side. Nice. We're going to lift up the right leg again. So remembering that core action so that it feels like there's ease for your spine. Now this time we're going to point the right toes and you're going to draw a really big circle. So you had a pencil out of the end of your big toe. Really big circle. Where you're moving, you'll feel the hip move from external to internal rotation. Good. And then other direction. Nice big circle. Easy in your upper body. Good. And then release that side. And left leg up. Point your toe. Big circle. And other direction. This is another good one to do if you're boiling the kettle and waiting. Okay, that side's done. We're going to lift up the right leg again. Good core awareness. But this time really relax. Shake your leg. Okay, and then we're just going to let the lower leg hang from the knee and make a figure 8 with the knee, or an infinity symbol. And other direction. Oh, I can hear the brain gears grinding from here. Good. And feet underneath the hip. And lifting up the left leg. Nice and relaxed. Give it a shake. And then figure 8 with your left knee. Other direction. Beautiful. And release. Your hips will be feeling something. All right. And we're going to sit down. Sit up onto a blanket. So it feels a little easier. We're going to take the arms out wide and cross your right upper arm over your left, or Garudasana arm. Good. You can feel the skin between the shoulder blades stretch. And see if you can lift the breastbone and slide the shoulder blades down. And looking up. Good. And we're going to rock gently forward and back, but without losing the feeling that the bones of the spine are embedding forward. So particularly in that upper back, posture kind of wants you to let the bones stick out to the back of the body. We're going to try and bring them forward. And swinging forward and back. Good. Now we're going to keep swinging forward and back, but we're going to take it over the right leg. Couple more times. Good, and then over the left leg. Try to keep the bones of the spine embedding forward. Neck nice and easy, so draw the shoulder blades down. Good, and back up to center. And release. Nice work. Swap the cross of the legs, the other one on top. And we'll swap the cross of the arms. Ooh, left over right. Draw the shoulder blades down. Feel how that frees up the neck. Embed the bones of the spine forward. Good, and we're going to start to rock forward and back. A complicated posture like this that has unusual movement often will throw up places in the body that you didn't realize were resisting, or maybe even some soreness. So treat your body with compassion. When you discover those things, we're not trying to push through, we're trying to find workarounds. A gentle, compassionate approach to the self. Good, now keep forward and back, but try over your left leg now. Just watch that feeling that the shoulder blades ride up, or that the upper back becomes a hunchback shape. Keep the bones of the spine forward. Keep the back of the neck long. Good, and then try over the right leg now. And before you know it, you've encouraged movement really out of the ordinary in your body. Beautiful. And then release. I'm going to lay back down onto the mat. And pop that blanket back underneath your hip. We'll take the arms out from the shoulders and really tuck your shoulder blades under. Elbows out from the shoulders, and then make cactus arms. So just swing your hands in so you're 90 degrees at your elbow. And the backs of the hands towards the floor. We're going to bring the legs into bamboo pose, but only if you really feel like you can balance without work in the core of the body. And if you feel like it's a struggle to balance your legs, then you're going to put your feet on the floor. Just keep your blanket under your hips and have your legs bent, feet on the floor. The bamboo pose. I like this posture. It's so botanical with cactus arms and bamboo legs. Find the flow of your breath. beginning of the practice, we really tuned in to even the skin of the belly, stretching and retracting with the breath. Good. And then releasing. Take out the blanket. Arms straight out from the shoulders now. Inside edges of the feet together, knees together. We're going to lift the hips left, knees go right. And with awareness in the core of the body, lift the feet and the knees just off the floor. Keep the left shoulder blade all the way down, looking left. Breathe deeply. We're going to keep that core awareness as you lift your legs. Lift your hips, swing them right, and knees go left. And then core of the body. So feel the front core resting to support the back, and the pelvic floor lifting strongly. And we lift the feet and the knees just off the floor. Right shoulder blade stays relaxed onto the floor. And feeling the support of that good core awareness, we lift the legs so that there's an ease to the spine. And that ease comes about through strength and awareness. Good. And we're going to hold the knees into the chest again, rocking a little from side to side. And take happy baby pose again. We did that at the beginning of the practice. And just swinging a little bit from side to side. And even trying to straighten your legs a little bit. And maybe it feels a little easier now. Beautiful. If you'd like to stay in your own shavasana, bring your, excuse me, feet back down onto the floor and kick your legs up, right? If, like me. Oh, excuse me. You need to finish your practice. And you're going to roll over to your side and come up to sitting. Bring your hands. Finding the length of your spine. Easy breath. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a really nice day.